Nasty Test Kitchens. Today I'm going to prepare a juicy and flavorful flank steak. I'm going to talk about the techniques of how to create a tender piece of meat. Flank steak is usually a tougher cut meat but very flavorful. However, depending on how you prepare it, the marinade and the technique will create a very tender cut. The marinade is prepared with these ingredients. We have juicy juice as one of the ingredients that we're going to use, Maggi to season it, and then other great Mexican type of ingredients. But first we want to crush our Maggi bouillon and dissolve it with a quarter cup of hot water. So mix it really well till it's dissolved. The other important ingredient is lime juice. This is citrus. Citrus will help tenderize the meat. So I added about the juice of 2 limes. To that, I'm going to add about half a cup of apple juice. And that's to balance the flavors. A little bit of sweetness with the sour makes a great combination of flavors. Now the spicy, nice ingredients that we're going to use here are some garlic that I've already chopped, about 2 cloves. Mix that in. Cumin, about a teaspoon of cumin. This is all for about 1.5 pounds of flank steak. Some chili powder, about 2 teaspoons. A teaspoon of oregano. You can either buy regular oregano leaves or Mexican type. The one that's Mexican, it's more pulverized, so you don't need to use as much. Half a teaspoon will be just right. Fresh cilantro, my favorite ingredient. And you can also use parsley if you're not fond of cilantro, but it adds a freshness to it. A little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon. Okay, great, ready. That's the marinade. Very easy, few ingredients. I like to marinate it for 24 hours, so overnight. But you can also do it half a day. That's perfectly fine. You can either pour it in a glass container like this one, but my favorite way of marinating it is in a plastic bag. Keeps the juices in. You can turn it midway in the refrigerator and it doesn't drip. So basically I put the steak in the bag. I use a big bag. And then I pour the marinade inside the bag, just like that. I try to take as much air out as I can. So there we go. Seal it really well. And then just give it a turn or two so the marinade is incorporated all through the meat. Perfect. Just put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours. And the next day you can grill it on your grill, outdoors or indoors. And here I'll show you how to do it. Okay, I have my piece of steak here, flank steak, already marinated in 24 hours. I'm going to put it on really high heat. That's one of the techniques of getting a juicy and tender flank steak. You have to have high heat and sear it both sides so you seal all the juices. You don't have to cook it for too long. About 7 minutes, 8 minutes each side is just fine. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in a container, cover it, and let it rest for 10 minutes. That way the juices don't ooze out. So here it is, in the high heat on the grill. Oh, you can hear that, and you can smell it too. So basically after it's done, I place it on the cutting board. And this is important. You cover it with foil and let it rest for about, 10 minutes. That way the juices are sealed inside. If you cut it right away, all the juices will run out and the meat won't be as tender. So cover it for about 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes have passed by. Let's pretend. So another important technique about flank steak, since it's a tougher cut of meat, you can see the fibers of the beef right here going across. You want to cut against it, so against the fiber, against the grain. So instead of cutting it, a lot of people are used to cutting it right at the grain, but you don't want to do that. You want to cut against the grain, so cut it this way. That way you're cutting the fiber down even further and tenderizing it. Cut it in thin slices. Okay. And you can see my favorite is about medium to medium rare. I like to place it in a tortilla with some avocados and tomatoes or pico de gallo. Roll it up. Get messy. Now let me see if it turned out okay or not. Let's see. You can see the juices coming right out. That's what's really flavorful. It's the marinade and the juices of the beef. Perfectly done. Thank you so much. Hope to see you soon. You can find these recipes on our website, MejorNido.com. You'll find all the ingredients in their correct measurements. You'll have a printout and you'll be able to share it with all your family members. Thank you.